You are listening to Erik Wadell Pause. We pause for a second or two. This is episode 37. Too many difficulties. Today's episode is dedicated to us feeling overwhelmed. When I was younger, I heard someone say that we cannot handle or process more than 3 major sources of news at the same time. That we cannot handle 3 difficulties. We cannot handle more than 3 difficulties in society at the same time. That somehow, in order to feel that we as a collective are on top of things, that we are dealing with things in a constructive pace. Someone told me that people like there to be around 3 difficulties at the same time. However, at some points in history, the number of difficulties feel to be significantly more than 3. From what I have read during the Great Depression and the Second World War, I imagine if you would ask the common man, how many difficulties are you facing as a society? I imagine they would have said more than 3 different things. And so again, at this point in history, I would figure that most people would name more than 3 things. And this episode I wanted to dedicate to a question. And the question is, what happens to us and what happens to our emotional sense of life as we are facing too many simultaneous difficulties? I guess I could try to list a different number of difficulties that we now face in this time. But I think that this time is more well spent if I just focus on this phenomenon as a whole So today's episode is proper to make use of one of our universal skills, the skill called time. Time is in part about how much time we have to deal with something. And every issue we are facing, every difficulty, takes its own time. It takes time to find solutions. It takes time to find a pathway forward. In times such as these, when there seems to be many difficulties happening at the same time, from a time perspective, all of it can feel like playing whack-a-mole. That we try to deal with one of the difficulties and whack-a-mole, only to see that another difficulty, just as severe as the last one, pops up. In such a time, such as this, it is easy to feel powerless or helpless. It is easy to feel insignificant. It is easy to feel slow. It is easy to feel that our effort is never enough. It is easy to feel nihilistic. At the same time, it is extremely difficult to feel all those things. So we are sort of trapped in this sort of hopeless feeling, where it can feel very bleak. And what we really do not feel is a sense of time. What we really do not feel is breathing space. We feel like society is rushing, like people are rushing, like advancement, development, change is rushing. So it's like we are standing in the middle, and when I face north, I see a severe difficulty. And then I turn right and face east, and I see a difficulty just as severe. And I keep turning to south, and there's another difficulty. And lastly, I turn towards west, and there is a fourth difficulty. So wherever I look, there are difficulties. That is our feeling. And in such a scenario where wherever we look, there is a difficulty, it can feel pointless to try to address any of the difficulties. So, I guess a common feeling in these times could be a sense of feeling paralyzed. Like the connection between our well-intended efforts and whatever we are addressing. Like the connection is sort of cut off. So then follows this sense of isolation and alienation. And it might not even be that we are isolated. We might not be alienated. We might have friends, family, spouses, kids. But still, wherever we look, the feeling can be that it's all difficulties. Wherever we look, it's all overwhelming. And we can feel like a fly in a spider's net, isolated on the sticky web. So part of our sense of time now becomes a lot about this sort of waiting state of mind. Like we are waiting for something or someone. Like we are waiting for something great or something revolutionary. Like we are waiting for something unprecedented or something to something to make this isolated, hopeless feeling go away. And this sort of waiting process can feel blind. And some of the time we feel like we don't have any patience to wait for this great thing or this change. Or we feel like we do not want to wait any longer, that we want to take matters in our own hands, and maybe the feeling can be that it doesn't matter that much what we do, just that we do something and we do it with resolve and we do it in a confident and dominant way. That, okay, I do not know if I should go north, east, south or west, but I can walk with certain steps. I can go with strong steps. In times such as these, when it can feel like there are too many difficulties, we might arrive at the answer that we just need to walk in a strong, dominant way. And it doesn't matter in which direction, just that we walk and how we walk. And it is very difficult to live in these times without focusing on some kind of bad guy. It's very hard, maybe impossible. It's very difficult to not paint with a wide brush. It's very difficult. We feel pressured, so naturally we want to paint with broad strokes. I do. So, to sum this up, this somewhat shorter episode today, we are in a time when it feels like we can feel stuck, like there are difficulties in all directions. We can feel like we are waiting for something big. And at the same time, we can feel like we must walk with strong and dominant steps. And all of this will lead to something. That much is certain. And I guess we'll see where that will be. Possibly it will be to different things for us, and in part to some of the same things for us. That's it for today. Thank you.